Welcome to our YouTube channel, Information Management for Nonprofits, dedicated to enhancing data and information management practices in nonprofits. My name is Hamza, and today I'll guide you through the process of cleaning data using OpenRefine, an incredibly robust open source tool formerly known as Google Refine. So before we crash in, let me show you how you can download and install this fantastic app. So, in this section of the video, I'll show you how you can download and install OpenRefine. The first step, open up your browser. Go to OpenRefine's website. By the way, you could find a download link in the video description if you want to follow along. The second step, click on the download button. OpenRefine supports many operating systems, including macOS and Linux. I'm using Windows, so I'm gonna click on the default option. So we're finished with downloading OpenRefine. Let's drag the file to our desktop. It's a zip file, so we need to extract it. That shouldn't take long, or maybe it will, so let's give it a time. After we finish extracting the zip file, let's open the folder. Then double-click on the executable file, openrefine.exe. Well, in case if you are using smart screen, you could click more info and then run anyway. A command line would show, and then your web browser will open a new tab. So this is OpenRefine's homepage, which we could use to clean our data. We have multiple tabs on the left, including Create Project, which we will come back to. And then we have Open Projects, Import Project, and Language Settings. Open Projects, if you already have worked with previous projects, you could retrieve your work from here. And then we have Import Projects. In case if you worked on a different project in a different machine. And then we have language settings. This is how you can set up the language settings for your project. Let's go back to create project. And by the way, we have our preference here and about and help. In case if the language you're using is different from what I'm using, you could change it from preferences and then use a LAN. For example, let's use Arabic. Okay. And let's go back. And as you can see now, we see OpenRefine in Arabic language. Let's go back and change it back to English. So, in the Create Project tab, we have multiple options here. We could select a file from our computer, and then we have from a web address, in case if we have a link to a data through a URL. And then we have a clipboard. If we have data we just copied from another source, we could paste it here. And then we have the common database connections, and it supports multiple types of databases. And finally, we have Google data. You could include the URL of Google spreadsheet here, or you can sign in here and authorize access to your Google data. We are going to use the first option, which is this computer. And for reference, OpenRefine supports multiple data formats, including TSV, CSV, Excel, JSON, XML. So, before we click anything, let me show you on what we're going to deal with. So, I have here Master Beneficiaries Tracker. Let's open it. This is a tool used by many humanitarian agencies, including WFP and others. And its goal is to track beneficiaries' data who are receiving cash. So as you can see here, we have a serial number column, we have participant name, and then we have gender, and they have date of birth, and then we have marital status, education level, ID type, ID number, and so on. So we're going to use this list for the purpose of demonstration. Let's close this. We don't want to save anything. Let's go back to OpenRefine. So we'll choose Files. Let's browse our desktop. Choose Master Beneficiaries Tracker, Excel file, and open it. Click Next. As you can see now, we have many options. First, project name. Let's choose a simple project name. Probably we'll keep this as it is. We could include tags if we wanted to. At the bottom of the window, you could see multiple options. We could import all sheets. I'm only interested in the first sheet, so I don't need the other sheets. Let's deselect them. And as you can see on the right, we have a couple of options. The first is to ignore a number of rows. Second is to parse the first row as a header. Third, we can discard a number of rows. And finally, to select the number of rows we need to load. And if we have a look at our data, you could see that we have 2 rows that are empty. Therefore, I think we should discard them. And the main difference between ignoring and discarding is that ignoring will ignore them while we process our data in OpenRefine, but we will still have them once we export our final project, while discarding them simply remove them. So let's click Create Project. So as you can see now, this is the default view of our data. And luckily, OpenRefine offers us different ways to control this. First, we can change how many rows we can see. We can also move between the different set of rows. Additionally, we have the option to collapse or expand columns, and many more. Let's see how we can clean this data. A common issue with cash beneficiaries list is that we might find duplications, and we could use conditional formatting in Excel to find any duplicates. Problem is, there could be some variation in the spelling of the name itself. So let's fix that. The first step I would like to do is to remove any extra white space. And you could do this easily by going to Edit Cells, then Common Transforms, and trim leading and trailing white spacing. This would remove all spaces at the beginning and ending of string. Additionally, we will also need to remove any consecutive white space within the string itself. Next, we will need to separate the name column, and we can do that by going to the Edit column and then split into several columns. We will add space instead of comma as our separator, and then click OK. As you see now, we have 6 columns. Each column includes a single name of our participants. Now we can use clustering algorithms to help us find different spellings of the same name by going to Edit Cells and then Cluster and Edit. This window offers us many methods to cluster our data, and at this instance, I would be using the key collision algorithm, which includes 6 different keying functions. And as you can see now, our first function found 3 clusters. We can combine these by selecting the merge option. We can also select the specific value in the cluster. After we have selected the choices we are comfortable with, we can click Merge Selected and Recluster. Let's go ahead and choose other KM functions. As you can see, the metaphone 3 is kind of perfect for our use case here. Let's merge these. Go ahead and fiddle with other functions. Nope, this one does not give us a good result. Okay, how about choosing other algorithms? Okay, good. Let's merge these. What about other functions? Okay, I think we should be okay now, and we can apply the same steps on other columns. A great feature that OpenRefine allows is the ability to keep tabs on the transformation process and even revert to previous steps. And we can do that by going to the Undo and Redo tab. This tab shows us all the actions we have executed since the inception of our transformation journey. If we select the first step, this will take us back to the first phase where we have created our project. Let's not do that. Okay, let's merge back our name column. And you can do that easily by going to the Edit column and then Join Columns. Select all the needed columns. On the right side, we have many options. Select the Delete Joined Columns option, and then choose to write the results in a new column and name it Participant Name. And finally, add a single space as a separator between the content of each column and click OK. Well done! We can now easily find any duplicates by going to Facet, Customized Facets, and then Duplicates Facet. Here, OpenRefine clustered our data into two clusters, true and false. Obviously, we are interested in the true cluster. You can see we have 6 rows of duplicates. We can easily exclude all of these from our data, or we can tag them for further diagnosis. Let's move to the next column. We should have a binary selection in this column, either male or female. We're going to clean this by going to Facet and then Text Facet. Of course, we should first clean spaces before doing so. Nonetheless, we see 5 clusters where we should only have 2. Let's remove the misspelled ones. We can also do this to other columns as well. We can also do this from the primary view, simply finding invalid data, and you will see an Edit button on the right. Click on it. Let's fix this and then click Apply on identical cells. You will see a notification showing how many cells were affected and the name of the column. You also have the option to undo. You may have also noticed another issue in the age column where we have day, month, and then the year. This is not a standard date format, including in Microsoft Excel. And you can clearly see the issue if we go to Facet and then Timeline Facet. Most of our data in this column is not considered as a date. So let's fix this. You can do this by going to Edit, Cells, and then Transform. In this instance, let's use Replace so we can remove the dot and replace it with a slash. We can immediately see the results. Now we can convert it to date. And by providing false here, we're simply saying that our date starts with a day. We should now specify the locale. In this case, it's English. We should be good to go now. Click OK. Let's create a timeline facet again and check. Perfect. We can use the handles on the right or the left to squeeze our view. This guy seems to be too young. And this woman seems to be too old. Again, the participation start date column has the same annoyance, where the date starts with a day instead of a month. Let's use the same process to rectify the issue. Excellent. Let's also add a new column that calculates the age of our participants in years based on the age column. We can do that by going to the edit column and then add column based on this column. Write the following formula. Def, open bracket, use the current value of our column, comma. Let's use now the now function, which will give us the current date. And we need to see the difference in years. Close bracket. We can see the results with a minus mark in front of the year. Let's use the replace function to remove that. Great. Let's now add years afterwards. Good. Let's add a space before. That's perfect. The results are satisfactory. Let's give our new column a name and call it age. Cool. Click OK. This is excellent. Let's create a text facet. Let's sort by count. We have 12 participants whose age is 33. Let's scroll downward. Someone is 73. Interesting. Before we end our video, I would like to say a word. This is our first video, and our technical and hardware resources are very limited at the moment. Therefore, we would love to see your support for this effort, which we hope will ultimately materialize into a vibrant community of information management professionals for nonprofits and the humanitarian sector. You can support us by being one of our Patreons, buy me a coffee, or simply by subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing this video. I think we are ready now to export our final project. Let's do this by going to Export menu. We have many options, including the tab separated value, comma separated value, HTML table, old format, and the new format of Microsoft Excel, open data format spreadsheet. But for now, we're going to use the new Microsoft Excel format. Let's check it out. Good. This is outstanding. Hopefully you learned something today and this work be of benefit to you and your organization. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment for more. Thank you for watching and have a splendid practice experience.